Here, we've got the, here's a sub panel here. Pulling this out. Now at first, I don't know which breaker it would be. And usually you're gonna have something like this all written down. It was in the laundry, and here, look at this here. Laundry, GFI. And it's probably that second one on the right. We look at the second one on the right, and look at that. It looks like it's in the tripped mode. It's not on, and it's not off. See there? Now, I can't just turn this back on. See? You just turn it, and it will always spring back to the middle. Why is that? Well, do you know why? It's because you have to turn it all the way off, then all the way back on. And I just realized this the other day. I didn't come down here when the GFI, when I thought the GFI wasn't, when I knew the GFI was not working, and I thought I had to go to Home Depot. I made a special trip to Home Depot to get that, and I thought, hey, I'm going to make a video of that. I should have came down here at the electrical panel first, because it tripped. It's never tripped. We've been in here 9-10 months, and it has never tripped. Something caused that GFI to trip, and then it also tripped the breaker. Now sometimes the GFI will trip and it won't trip the breakers in your electrical panel, but if you find that there's no power and you can't reset your GFI on your wall, you go down to your electrical panel, see if any of them have tripped. Even if it wasn't listed laundry GFI and you couldn't see it anywhere, because see here, look, here's bath GFI, here's another one, bath GFI, then there's a laundry GFI. But if you can't find this, let's say yours is all marked up, let's say you can't even find that, and you're just looking at the breakers, you see one that's tripped, then you're probably gonna make the assumption that, yep, that's probably for that GFI. So I have not done anything at this point. I'm gonna turn this off all the way, and hopefully, first off, we can turn it off. And yes, in fact, we can turn it off. And now I'm going to turn it all the way on. Now, if there's anything wrong with that GFI, if two wires are touching, or a loose electrical wire nut back behind the GFI in that junction box, maybe a rat chewed through a wire that goes from the GFI up the wall, up in the attic or something, that'll mean that I can't reset this. If I try to reset this and it goes back to the tripped mode, that tells me there's something wrong, that there's power touching somewhere, and I've got to look at it further. Now, like I said, I've not checked it, so you're going to see what I see. Here, I'm hoping that this is going to reset, and it's just that breaker, that GFI tripped on its own somehow and made this trip. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's on. Power should be back on over there. I have no idea why it tripped. I cannot make that trip on its own. Okay? I wasn't just making a funky video that was already inclined to make that trip so I can make a video. No, you're seeing what I see. Okay? And so I'm gonna make the assumption I don't have to come back here again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just close this up. And we're going to go back out there in the laundry room and see if we can get power, see if we can get power back to that. We may have to reset the little buttons on the wall, okay? So up we go. Stick with me. I'm almost done with this, hopefully. Okay, we're back here. I have not done anything. I don't do that. You see what I see, okay? And so, you look on here, you can't see it, but I can if you look really hard. One will say test, one will say reset. And I know the bottom one is the test. And the reset's up here. I don't know if it's set right now. I haven't touched this. Let's see, maybe it is on. Nope. Yeah, it is. See, my blue light is over here, it's on. Okay. But now let's just mess around with this for a minute. Okay. And that's odd. That's odd. Because that should have popped out. You know what? I think that did pop out, and then that caused the electrical breaker in the sub panel to trip too. Because when the power is off and this is popped out, you can still reset this. Because I tested it on one of these with the power off. You can still reset this, and well, you can push the button in, okay? And I ended up pushing the button in, and it clicked in and everything, but nothing happened. And when there's no power on here, you can't press the test button and have the red button pop out. You got to have power to it. Okay, so that's why the power's on, is because I already had the button tested in. And we're gonna just test this. We're gonna test this before we do anything. I'm gonna press that in there. See how the orange light is on, and I look up there, the orange light is on, and we're gonna make sure that this is still working, because I want the test buttons to work. I'm gonna press this, and the red button should pop out, and it does. And now the red button should reset. When I push it in, I will feel and hear a definite little click, and I felt it, and it's pushed in. And now the power's there again. I press that, test it, and there should be no power here now. There's no power. There's no power to this now at all. Okay. Press the button in. Now the power should be on here. That's what a GFI does. You can turn your power on and off right here. Okay, and it's on. I just have to wiggle the wire. The little prongs, and it's on. There's a little orange light there. Okay, now you said, hey, wait a minute. Okay, so you know what? Everything's fine. I should not have to install a new GFI outlet. Okay. Now you're saying, hey Joe, what about this other plug over here? Remember that? Okay. Now let's just look at that. I think the power, I've got it set, okay? The power's on, right? Remember before the power was off over here? Now, and I have not tested this yet. When I put my prong in there, the light should go on. And that should tell me that this is connected with that GFI, and I'm pretty sure it is. Look at that. See there? The light's on. Test it up there, the light is on. Okay, now I take this, press the test button, pop that out, no power to there. Now there should be no power to this because these two are hooked up together, and we're going to verify that right now. Okay, look at that. No power. No power. There's no power to that one because the power comes from this GFI over here. So if I wanted to work on this electrical outlet, I could, because this one is off. Do you understand what I'm saying? I could pull that one out if I had to. If I had to work on it for any unknown reason, the power's off to that altogether. Even though the power's off to this, because I made it go off just right here at this outlet, but the lines coming into here are still hot. The breaker's still on in the sub panel, so I could not pull this out of the wall right now because this is still hot inside. I've still got hot wires in there. Does that make sense? So if I needed to take this out, let's say I needed to take this out and work on it for some unknown reason, or let's say I wanted to swap it out because this one is Navajo white, almond color, and this brand new one is white. Maybe I just want to take it out and replace it with that, right? And if I did, I couldn't just pull this out of the wall right now. What would I have to do? Yes, I would have to go back to the electrical panel, turn the breaker off all the way. Then I know there's no power to this at all, okay? Now, there's one part of the lesson, okay? I'm going to tell you one more thing.